Let's talk about brother Aaron Glenn. He takes the job with the New York Jets. Lions also get 2 third-round draft picks, by the way. One this draft and one in 2026 draft. So the Lions have a first, second. I think they didn't have a third or a fourth, and now they have a third this year. So they don't have a fourth. Now, I don't understand why. Somebody probably could tell me in the comment section why they don't get one for Ben Johnson. Maybe it might be a minority thing. That's what I'm guessing now. I'm speaking out loud. Or it's because maybe they internally promoted Ben Johnson and the original offensive coordinator, was Anthony Lynn. So maybe I think it might be a minority thing, or maybe because, they promoted with the end and they didn't hire Ben Johnson. When people forget, Anthony Lynn was the original offensive coordinator, and I really think he did what made Jared Goff comfortable. But ultimately, I just think he didn't run the ball enough, and I think Ben Johnson was the guy for the job. And I've been critical of him in losing the games. Real quick before I get to Aaron Glenn, I know everybody basically saying, yeah, y'all loving it when Goff was doing. We talking about in critical moments, and I'm not even talking about the J-Mo pick. I went to bed by then. I'm talking about as far as the situation as the third down calls. An NFC Championship game with Amon-Ra St. Brown, him handing the ball off to a receiver before the Josh Reynolds catch, and third and second once again versus the Washington Commanders. Why not run? Why take the running back out the field? Why would you go with an empty set? But Aaron Glenn, it's been an up and down relationship with Lions fans and Aaron Glenn. I think he's done a lot with less, done more with less. I mean, he ain't had the greatest pieces in the world, and he found a way to get that defense to an NFC Championship this year. And I think he could have got this defense to a Super Bowl. It's just that the offensive coordinator didn't want to run the fucking football. At least in the NFC Championship game. I like Philly's team a lot. But, the way they play football, the Lions could explode at home. I mean, I don't see them losing the NFC Championship game to Philly in that scenario. But yeah, I mean, this year they gave him some pieces, and they was doing good. And towards the middle of the season, they was trending towards being the best defense in the NFL, right there with Philly. I mean, Aiden Hutchinson go down. I mean, then eventually Marcus Davenport go down, which we expected that. Derek Barnes go down. People say he missed too many tackles, and I'm just thinking like, dude, he's your third linebacker in the nickel base league. You know what I'm saying? Rodrigo, he came in and played well. So I don't have an issue with the linebackers. Obviously, you want a linebacker that can run and all that stuff. That wasn't an issue until until everybody went down, not named Jack Campbell. So the linebackers, I like their linebackers. They like their linebackers. They like Rodrigo. I bring Barnes back if he's healthy. I like Rodrigo, so I ain't really care, But then, Carlton Davis breaks his jaw. F.A. Melifano gets a late start to the season, which I would bring him back. I might be in the minority there. I just like what he can do across the board. Terrion in and out. Don't forget, and it's Rackstraw. He's in and out. He really had a bad year. They was trying to make him relearn the nickel position. So it got to a point where BB had to go back to the nickel, and FA played the safety, and it was just a lot of bullshit. They did the best they could defensively, and defensively, I think they might have had the best defense in the league had they stayed healthy. So, really looking at it, is it a durability thing? Was it the curse of Bobby Lane? Was it a bad luck thing? I don't know in general what to call it. But it was things that we hadn't seen before. And per usual, the Lions looking like they look like the best team in the league. When that defense was like truly healthy, I mean, they did. Aaron Glenn could play the way he wanted to play, and they played effective. And the zone he went to, everybody started dropping like fries at McDonald's. So, but yeah, I mean, I think he done an amazing job. I think, could there be some room for improvement? I think absolutely. I think you get a defensive coordinator that's more multifaceted as far as playing not just man-to-man defense, but is willing to play some zone defense. So I think, next defensive coordinator come here, maybe it's just a little bit more of a balance in playing zone and man defense. And I just really think that may just be it. That's the only complaint I really had, is just playing a little bit more zone defense. I mean, really, he wanted to come in, implement a 3-4. Remember that? Then they kind of settled on in the base 4-3. So really, everybody in theory, let's just bring everybody back and it'll be the same. And I mean, these players, they lose a little bit of they prime every time they come back every year. So, there's some people that say, let's just run Rackstraw and Terry out the corner and take our lumps early. We got Amick as a backup, bring in somebody. I mean, there's a lot of things you could do. But the one thing they will do is if Aiden Hutchinson come back healthy, it's chances that they may not keep Zadarius Smith word through the great. Now, whatever happens, they can get these guys healthy and keep this core together. They'd be dangerous. But Aaron Glenn, I think, did a great job. I think his whole thing is he was just too far with the man-to-man coverage. I think he was just too much with the man-to-man coverage. And I think you get somebody in there with a little bit more balance that want to play more zone, I think they'd be in a better position. Get these players playing a more of a zone look. So, but that's the really only complaint. I think he did the most he could. And him going to the Jets, he won't be vilified for going to the Jets. He going to a cross-conference rival. But it was the best opening for Ben Johnson to go to Chicago, a franchise quarterback. A city, that's a major city. I think it was the best opportunity that was available. Now, obviously, because he went to Jacksonville, and I like the talent they got in Jacksonville. Yeah, but the problem with Jacksonville is the ownership is shaky. They willingly taking London games, and also they didn't want to fire the GM until today. So, in theory, I like him and Trevor Lawrence working together in the defense talent they got, but the ownership is just bad. And then New Orleans, that would be hustling backwards. The Raiders, why would I go to that conference and compete? So, possibly the Jets, but they have a lot of dysfunction. So he get to pick where he wanted to pick. Aaron Glenn played for the Jets. Obviously, probably knows the owner pretty well. You got all that talent on defense as well, too. So they got a tremendous amount of talent defensively. So really, offensively, it's just about him. What does he do offensively? You know what I'm saying? They say he got that same leadership quality that Dan Campbell got. And if that's the case, then Aaron Rodgers probably won't be there. They already said Shedeur Sanders can't play there, so maybe it may be a little bit different out there. Aaron Glenn is the head coach, and maybe Deion, DB to DB, cornerback to cornerback, may trust Aaron Glenn a little bit more. May say, okay, we can see him going there, so maybe that may be the case. They move up and get him. But yeah, of course, he got a job that don't got no goddamn quarterback, assuming Aaron Rodgers won't be back. So, that was the one thing about if Jacksonville had competent leader ownership, they would have had the most attractive job. A tremendous amount of defensive talent in Jacksonville. A tremendous amount of offensive talent in Jacksonville. Just the ownership just sucked monkey balls. But hey, nonetheless, that is what it is, man. Shout out to Aaron Glenn. I'll be rooting for them. I'd be rooting for Ben Johnson outside of winning the division and kicking our ass. But yeah, Dan Campbell planted the seeds, gave guys opportunities that they didn't get before him. And now he get to plant his seed planted seeds his coaching tree. So that's the good thing about it. But on the other side, he got to show that he can continue to pick the right coordinators. And he can show without those guys that the show must go on, and I still will be productive. And it's about this team. It's about my program, and not about the individuals, coordinators. They talent as individual coordinators. But hey, let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications. Increase your chance to get notifications. We go live or drop video. Financially, want to support the channel? Cash App, $CJ Bill 313. Venmo CJ Bill 313. PayPal link in the description. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Amazon, or just there. But everything is in the link tree. I'm updating with some new stuff. Check out the Trey Lines Talk playlist. Peace. And shout out to Aaron Glenn.